It's from the legendary Big House, Michigan Stadium. We're ready for Big Ten football on FOX as Minnesota comes into town to take on the 12th ranked defending national champion, Michigan Wolverines. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson along with my QB, Joel Klatt. Welcome to Ann Arbor, Michigan, coming off a scintillating win last week against USC. They ran it some more, and as something to mention, they're still running the football.
Right.
Terrell Mullings, Donovan Edwards were wonderful, but the big question surrounding this team is the quarterback. Alex Orji makes his second start, and by the end of the season, he wants to prove that he is the man that will lead this Michigan Wolverines team into its future.
And for him, he's just got to get better each and every week and get better at the things that he is excelling in. And one of those is running the football and this team's ability to run the football. And he's got a great backfield to do that with. These guys can help him develop. Terrell Mullings and Donovan Edwards. Mullings has been sensational the last couple of weeks, Gus, not just against USC, but back-to-back 150-yard games from Mullings. I feel like we're just scratching the surface with how good he can be. And Edwards with that, the prototypical burst in speed, that big play that showed up again last week for USC, it was there. He can always take it to the house. Now, on Minnesota's side, this is a team that's going to lean into running the football. Darius Taylor is going to be their featured back for P.J. Fleck. Now, this year they have thrown the football a bit more with their transfer quarterback, Max Brosmer, but in a day in which there's a little rain in the air and you're playing Michigan, you're going to want to run the football and have to establish that run. That's going to fall to the sophomore Darius Taylor, who's a heck of a back. I tell you, he's going to have a big day today. I feel like if they're going to upset Michigan, it's going to be because of Darius Taylor.
You're going to have a big day today, too.
You too, my man.
Here we go. Meanwhile, time now to join the third member of our team. You know who she is on the sidelines. Let's go downstairs to the All-American girl, Jenny Taft.
Well, guys, Alex Orji could have played football at a lot of different schools, but no one would tell him what he actually wanted to hear, that he could be their quarterback, until he sat down with Coach Harbaugh, who said, if you come here, we will do everything in our power to develop you as a quarterback, and now he gets his shot. When we sat down with head coach Sharon Moore yesterday, he said ultimately the decision to go with Orji came down to protecting the football. He said, I loved how he handled the adversity, not being named the starter right away, getting back to work. And by the way, guys, he had his best week of practice here at Michigan, throwing the football going into this game. Now, Orji's athleticism sets him apart. He told me he looked up to guys like Michael Vick, Cam Newton, and he doesn't care about the criticism on the outside. The last thing I asked Orji was, what did it feel like to finally be named the starter at Michigan? And he said, it's about time. I have no more time to waste. Gus?
All right, Jenny, thank you very much. Let's take a look at the weather. This is how we like it in the Midwest, folks. It's wet, it's rainy, it's cool, perfect football weather in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in a series that dates back to an 1892 meeting in Minneapolis. Michigan leads it 77-25 with 3 ties and has won the last 4 and 10 of the last 11. The last time they met in Minneapolis last October, Wolverines won it 52-10. Michigan won the toss, deferred. Minnesota will receive. Minnesota coming off a home loss to Iowa. As mentioned, Michigan, a home win against Southern California. Wolverines and Golden Gophers, and here we go from the Big House. This one fielded at the 5-yard line. Parrish taken down quickly. Michigan shot out of a cannon on special teams to start this game. So here come the Gophers on offense.
Max Brosmer comes out. He's a transfer from New Hampshire, and he was one of the best players at the FCS level a year ago. In fact, was a finalist for the Walter Payton Award. 313 passing yards per game. That led the FCS level. Now, they've opened up the last couple of weeks throwing the football, which is a departure from what Minnesota has been over the last couple of years under P.J. Fleck. Let's see if they do that even with the elements here today.
First down and 10 at the 14-yard line. Marcus Major in the backfield. They give it to him running right. He cuts it up Picks up about 4 yards on the play. Tackled by Barham offensively for the Golden Gophers.
Yeah, Ursi up front, he's probably their best guy, that left tackle. Quinn Carroll over on the right side, he's a heck of a right tackle for them. And then on the outside, watch out for Daniel Jackson. This is a guy that they target quite frequently. He's their best wide receiver, lines up in the slot quite often. Number 9, very quick receiver.
Darius Taylor comes in at running back now on 2nd and 6 at the 18-yard line. Taylor, he's got some running room as well. He'll get close to that first down marker. Kenneth Grant with the tackle. Defensively, they got 2 big boys in the middle, Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant.
Yeah, those 2 guys, they're as good of a tandem as there is in college football. There's no doubt, no doubt. But some injuries now in this defense. Will Johnson not starting today, the All-American corner. So it's going to be Amir Hall, number 12, who gets the start. He's going to be at the bottom of your screen here. Number 12 getting the start today.
3rd down and short for Minnesota at their own 23-yard line. Looks like they want to change it. Brosmer at the line of scrimmage. Quarterback sneak. The brotherly shove works. Or the tush push works. And Minnesota gets a first down.
Yeah, good push there by the interior. Brosmer, he's 225 pounds, so he gets it going right here over that right side. And they're able to just sneak past Mason Graham and move the chains.
Max Brosmer last week 22 of 37, 209, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions against Iowa. 3 runs to start this game. Major back in at tailback. They give it to him straight ahead, and he'll plow forward. Stopped by Kenneth Grant, first man to him, 8 of 4.
Yeah, interesting to start this game. Last week they started with about 6 straight passes against Iowa. Today they come out against one of the better interiors in all of college football with Grant and Mason Graham, and all we've seen is run plays. So PJ Fleck going back to what has really made his identity at Minnesota, trying to establish this run game here early.
2nd down and 6 at the 29. Opening series for the Golden Gophers. Darius Taylor back in at running back. Play fake. Brosmer sets up. Screen. And incomplete. Intended for Frank Bierman. Took his eyes off of it. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, and Gus, just something to pay attention to as we've got a soft rain falling and there's a little moisture on the football. The modern gloves do not handle moisture very well at all. In fact, they become much slicker. So watch for the guys who decide to keep the gloves on versus take their gloves off. I would actually suggest for the wide receivers to take the gloves off. I think it's much more precarious in terms of ball security when you keep those modern gloves on.
3rd down and 6 at the 29. Brosmer out of the shotgun. He'll throw it. Flares it out, and it goes nowhere. Wonderful job, Taylor with the reception. But Michigan all over it on defense. Ernest Hausman brings him down for a loss of 6.
It looks like Hausman's in a rush position, but watch, he just drops out of it immediately, and he diagnoses that play, sees the running back Darius Taylor, and he's right there to make the stop. Beautiful stop there from Hausman.
So Minnesota forced to punt it away. Mark Crawford comes in to kick it inside his own 10-yard line. Tyler Moore is the deep man standing at the Michigan 25. This one kicked toward the far side and out of bounds as it trickles inside the 20. A 57-yard punt. Coming up, the Michigan offense on the field. But right now, time for today's Game Flow, sponsored by Progressive. Alex Orji officially making his 2nd career start. And on 1st down, he wants to throw it. Orji dumps it underneath and incomplete. Frederick Moore the target, but he got popped. Maverick Baranowski with the tackle. Let's take a look at this Michigan offense.
Well, this offensive line came of age last week with that run game against USC. They did a heck of a job opening up those lanes, in particular late. They're coming together as a group that is really predominantly new from last year. And then Colston Loveland is back in the lineup. Samaj Morgan not in the lineup, but Loveland back there. I think that's going to help Alex Orji in the passing game today.
Second down and 10 of the 21. Mullings, who had the big game last week against USC in the backfield, will run it for the first time. Barely crosses the line of scrimmage. Picks up one. Cody Lindenberg defensively from Minnesota. And here are the Gophers on D.
Yeah, 92 Strigo up front. He's their best, I think, best front defender. 92 is they need him to be at the point of attack. Lindenberg, you saw with that tackle, he's excellent. And then they're dealing with some injuries in the back end. Justin Wally, a corner, he's out. Darius Green, safety, he's out. Goosby's back in the lineup. So it's a patchwork secondary right now for Minnesota.
Third down and 9 at the 22. Mullings in the backfield. Let's see what Orji does. Does he throw it? He wants to. Steps, looks, scrambles, close to the first down, and he has it plus more. Alex Orji, that big-time body, 6'3", 235, from Saxe, Texas, picks up 15.
I love his decisiveness there, Gus, to take off and run. He doesn't see it in his first two in the progression, so he's got his eyes down the field right here. And then as soon as he sees an opening on the right side, he's gone. And this was really the secret sauce to J.J. McCarthy last year. Did you know, Gus, that J.J. McCarthy, whether he completed the ball or ran it himself, he converted more third and longs than anybody in college football, 29 of them. That's what they're going to need to replace, and they're going to try to do it with number 10.
On first down, this time it's Edwards. Donovan Edwards stopped by Lindenberg. Let's tell you about Alex Orji, though.
Gus, this is what I was just talking about here. 29 third and longs last season, J.J. McCarthy. That's the most in college football. And at that point, what you're doing right there is that you are maximizing your defense, creating first downs that you would not normally have. And then that great defense can rest, and they don't have to see as many snaps. That's what Alex Orji, that's the blueprint and the identity of this team that he's trying to maximize.
Second down and 5 at the 42. And they'll hand it off. Mullings straight ahead. Orji's numbers last week, 7 of 12. He passed for 32 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Carried it 13 times for 43 yards. Talked to him yesterday at their facility. He said, hey, I just want to make sure that I get comfortable. I want to make sure that we win games. Everything else will evolve. I just need a little bit of time for things to slow down. Third down and 4 at the 43. Orji steps into his throw. Nicely done, out of bounds. Colston Loveland. I tell you what, when you have a player like Colston Loveland on your team, it'll give you some confidence.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And he runs a nice little out route on this right side. But watch the rhythm that Orji plays with. You see this? He gets back third step, one hitch, ball out, and is perfectly thrown right out in front. That's a confidence builder. I know it doesn't look like much right there, but see the nods in the stands? They're saying, okay, now we're starting to see a little bit of development, a little bit of growth from this Michigan passing game.
First down at the 49. Mullings, a single setback. Play fake. Orji dancing. Orji has got to get rid of it, and does he? No. Yes, but there is a flag. Looks like a face mask penalty may be coming up on Jalen Logan Redding. His hands got up high on the scrambling quarterback.
No question about it. I thought that Orji should have thrown that ball away sooner.
Personal foul, illegal horse collar tackle, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Same difference, definitely face mask though, but you know, that ball needs to leave his hand now. He's outside the pocket, he can throw it away, but as he's trying to escape right there, clearly that tackle way up high gets the face mask and creates another first down for Michigan.
First down at the 36. Mullings hit in the backfield. Keeps his feet moving. And he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Great gang tackling by Minnesota. Baranowski finally brings him to the turf. No gain.
You can tell this Minnesota team, they're gearing up for the run. And that's what you've got to do against Michigan. You know you're going to see it in this defense. They talked all week about the fight that they're going to have to put forth here today.
With the Grizzly Bear.
Yeah, that's right. They talk about all the weight in the backfield, these big backs that Michigan has, the big quarterback, and they're going to have to go tackle the Grizzly Bear today.
Second down and long. Orji, play fit. Near side, caught. Nicely done. Marlon Klein gets out of bounds. He'll pick up positive yardage. Michigan trying to move the football both on the ground and through the air. That's a gain of 9.
Yeah, nice positive series here right here. And this is a guy that they're trying to get going, Marlon Klein, because they think very highly of him. They feel like he can be a secondary threat at the tight end position to Colston Loveland and provide a little bit of the yin to the yang of number 18. So get him a little screen right there and now creates a short opportunity to convert.
Brings up 3rd down and 1 at the 27. This offensive line getting better and better as this season goes on, starting to gel. They'll run it. Here's a big pop. Mullings, touchdown, Michigan. Whoa, that left side of Miles Hinton and Josh Preem opened up Niagara Falls. 27 yards.
Well, you got a defensive lineman that gets over the top. Gus, the linebacker, doesn't fill for him. So when that happens, look at this hole right between the center and guard from Michigan. And it's an easy touchdown for Kalel Mullings. Nothing but green grass in front of him.
Also a terrific block by their center, Dominic Jadis. Tommy Mutz, as they call him, Mullings. 5 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Michigan striking first blood as they take a 7-0 lead over Minnesota. When Fielding Yost and Michigan left their water jugs in Minnesota, when they asked them to return it, the Gophers said they'd give it back when you beat us. Right now, 7-0 Michigan. That offensive line opening up some holes for Kalel Mullings, picking up on where they left off last week against Southern California.
Yeah, and I think, it should be noted, like, that entire offensive line is new. They're trying to figure each other out just as much as we're trying to figure them out. And we're just starting to see them gel right before our eyes.
Parrish will pick it up, and he'll get to the 20. Before being dropped at the 21. Jerome Moore impressed with his offensive line. But right now, his defense back on the field. Michigan up 7-0 over Minnesota. Is it the best Coke ever? Try and decide. Michigan Stadium. That guy's got a lot of courage out here. It's wet, a little cool, got no shirt on.
Paint's running off his body.
Everything. I like this dude. Got a nice helmet. National champion Michigan Wolverines on top of the Golden Gophers. 7-0. First down and 10 at the 20-yard line for Max Brosmer. The New Hampshire transfer leading the way for the Gophers. Brosmer pulls it down, wants to run, and he'll fall forward. Good gain a yard on the play. He got down quickly. Ernest Hausman was bearing down on him.
Yeah, a lineup issue here for Michigan. Josiah Stewart, number 1, leads the Big Ten with 4 sacks. He is not playing right now and was questionable coming into the game. So TJ Guy, 42, he's gotten the start, 6'4", 250 pounds from Massachusetts. So Michigan losing a little bit of that pass rush that was so effective a week ago.
Second down and 9 at the 21. Marcus Major checks in at running back. Play fake. Brosmer, screen pass. He's got Major with Lalane, and Major picks up a first down as he gets to the A 14-yard gain. Page with the tackle.
What a great job here by this offensive line. Look at the guard, center, and guard here. You got Cooper, Johnson, and Beers, and they get out in front of that screen, and Major does a good job, 24, the running back, setting it up, letting those blocks happen, and picking up that first down. Really good call there on the screen pass.
First down at the 34 now for Minnesota. Darius Taylor replaces Marcus Major. Quick strike on the hitch, near side, caught. Christian Driver, it'll get upfield and get close to midfield. Makari Page, again, a gain of 15.
Yeah, I like what Minnesota is doing here, is trying to get the ball out of the hands of their quarterback as quickly as they possibly can. They tried the run game on the first series, didn't work out, so now they're going with the quick passing game, a screen, trying to create, I would expect now in this sequence, some sort of misdirection coming up, whether it's a counter run or getting a big run play action and get the quarterback out of the pocket.
Jaren Mangum has checked in, number 8 at running back, first down at the 48. And they'll give it to him running left. A lot of room. He'll pick up a first down and more. Look at the leg drive. Mangum, senior from guess where? Detroit, Michigan State, and Colorado transfer, gets 16.
Really good double team right at the point of the cap. This is Tyler Cooper, the left guard, Greg Johnson, the center. That's the block that really springs Mangum, and he's able to just pile forward. And you're right, partner. Look at the leg drive here as he's working against Quentin Johnson, the safety for Michigan, just picks up about 5 more yards.
Last 3 plays for Minnesota. They've gained 13, 14, and 16 yards. First down at the Michigan 36. Darius Taylor back in at running back. Taylor trying to squirt through the hole. He'll be ridden down hard by Kenneth Grant. And it's a gain of 2.
Man, Grant is one of the best interior linemen I've ever seen against the run. He was, they talk about block destruction, you know, in defensive line circles. And Kenneth Grant, 78, that's what he excels at, block destruction. He gets separation. He's got so much force and then strength in his upper body. And P.J. Fleck knows that it's just difficult to win snap in and snap out against big 78.
Second down and 8 at the 34. Grossman will throw it this time. Over the middle. Incomplete. Oh, almost intercepted. Makari Page was there.
Just wonder if that moisture on the ball, I always felt like as a quarterback, the most difficult part about a little bit of moisture on the ball was trying to get it down. I felt like the ball always sailed, in particular when you're trying to drive the ball in the intermediate routes right there, and you see that one just over the intended wide receiver. Makari Page just couldn't quite get back and adjust for the interception.
Elijah Spencer hadn't turned out of his route to receive that football. So that makes it third down and 8 at the 34. Brosmer, another quick strike, and doesn't fool anybody. Hill coming up and making the tackle. That's a loss of 3 on the play.
And that is such a big loss right there, because now you're wondering about field goal range. You know, if you pick up 3 or 4 yards, I would think that Minnesota is definitely in field goal range, but just terrific reaction right there from Jair Hill. And he's able to come make the tackle. A loss of a couple of yards, and now Minnesota is in no man's land, Gus, because I don't think that they've got the range in these elements right now.
So they'll keep their offense on the field. Nick Martindale, defensive coordinator in his first year, known for the quarterback blitz. He likes to bring people all the time, and that'll 2:08 to play first quarter. Back after this. Timeout. Nearly 160 years. All right, the last time Minnesota beat Michigan came 10 years ago in Ann Arbor. It was just their second win versus the Wolverines in 24 years. Quarterback Mitch Leitner threw for a touchdown and ran for another in the win. Right now, our score, 7-0. Michigan on top of the Gophers, but Minnesota driving. They've got a decision to make right here, though, faced with a 4th down and 11.
They're right on the edge of field goal range, and you just wonder if they're going to try to punt this one down. No, they're going to line up here for a field goal here.
So they're going to go for it. Dragan Kesich did not attempt a field goal last week versus Iowa. He's 5 for 9 on the season with a long of 53 yards. This one from 55. Left-footed kicker. Good snap, clean hold, got it away. And he hooked it. Plenty of distance, but wide right.
Good operation here. Just hooked it, like you said, partner. And it's that loss of yardage on third down. You know, they get anything positive there, and that becomes much more of an automatic style field goal for Kesich. And that's exactly what P.J. Fleck knows. That's a third down issue. Obviously, as a kicker in these elements, 55 is incredibly difficult, and they miss it.
So Michigan will get the football back. 7-0 lead. First down and 10. At their own 37. Donovan Edwards in the backfield. They'll pitch it to the Don. Trying to get outside. He does. And he'll tiptoe out of bounds.
Well, last series, Gus, Michigan perfect on third down. And you asked for growth from the quarterback position, and he gave it to you. Alex Orji, this was 3rd and long, converts with his legs. Then on the 3rd and medium, beautiful ball right out to Colston Loveland. Then you get in the short yardage, give it to the big guys up front. That's right. They open up the big hole, and Moling saunters into the end zone. 3 for 3 on third down, the Wolverines on that first series.
2nd down and 6 at the 41. Orji, he's the young man that you really root for. What a great kid. Will tell his story as this game goes on. We'll hand it off straight ahead to Donovan Edwards. Joyner with the tackle. Gain of 2.
This Michigan team last week, I feel like, leaned in to what they are and how they win football games, Gus. You know, and it is leaning into the big guys up front. You got a chance to sit with all those guys up front.
Man,
those 5 up front, they have to be the drivers of the football team, and running the football has got to be paramount for Sharon Moore and the Wolverines. That's exactly what it was a week ago.
So a timeout on the field. Michigan facing a 3rd and 4, and they'll talk about it. Tonight, it's baseball night in America on Fox with the postseason on the horizon. Mets seek a crucial win against the Brewers, or the Orioles take on the Twins in desperate need of a win. Don't miss the action tonight at 7 Eastern on Fox. Check for the game in your area. I don't care about any of those teams. I'm talking about my Tigers last night. You see my man Jason Benetti in the locker room?
I did.
He got doused with champagne.
The Benetti effect is real.
That's
man.
right.
I love it.
Brought some good luck.
What a dream season for the Tigers here in Detroit. Man, how cool.
I tell you, one time was looking like a nightmare, but they turned it around. 3rd down and 4 at the 43 for the Wolverines, looking for the first down. Mullings in the backfield. Orji runs it himself. Will he get it? He will not. Great job by this Minnesota defense sniffing out that play. They needed 4. They get 3. Brings up 4th down and 1.
Well, they're trying to get that quarterback going, right? And they bring in Donovan Edwards in motion and try to get some width in the defense, but they just couldn't get the movement on that right side. Good job up front by Minnesota, forcing this 4th down, and Michigan will have to punt it away.
And they bring on my favorite player on the Wolverines, Tommy Doman, their punter. I tell you what, folks, he can put some English on the football. Had one of the best games of his career last week against USC with 8 punts for 49 yards and 4 down inside the 20. How about this? This will be down inside the 20. Doman, 5-star recruit. And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter with the score. Michigan 7, Minnesota 0. Back to Ann Arbor right after this.
Possession, but they have no points to show for it. Meanwhile, Kalel Mullings in that run game got it going. That 27-yard saunter got the Michigan Wolverines on the board on their first series of the game.
So 1st down and 10 at the 13. Minnesota has been able to move the football, Joel. Just they haven't been able, though, to pay it off in any way. From the 13, Darius Taylor, the running back. Spencer in motion. Taylor trying to get outside. Bunch of blue jerseys over there. He's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Amir Hall with the tackle. Houtsman as well. Remember, Hall is in there today because of the injury to Will Johnson.
Offense number 75. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Repeat, first down.
That's Tyler Cooper, their left guard.
Yeah, it's just right in the middle of your screen, so it's right there, and he's working against Jimmy Rolder. I thought it was actually on the outside, just kind of the wrong number that they called. It was really Ursi who had a hold of TJ Guy on the edge, but they called Tyler Cooper for it.
First down and 16 at the 7. Taylor spinning. And they'll give him a little breathing room. 5-yard gain. Jimmy Rolder again. His name being mentioned.
Yeah, this is a nice opportunity. If you're Michigan and Wink Martindale, Gus, think about it. You've got Minnesota backed up. Okay, they're behind the chains because of the penalty. Now it's 2nd and long. This is a time you could potentially get aggressive here, because if they can force a punt, you're going to set your offense up with quality field position, and with a possession-style offense like Alex Orji runs on that side, it's a nice chance for Michigan to get off the field defensively.
2nd down and 11 at the 12. Minnesota wants to throw it. That ball deflected at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Grosner had a big hand in his face. Looks like it was Rayshawn Benny.
Yeah, Benny had a great rush from the interior, so he's playing defensive tackle, runs about almost 300 pounds. Look, he's right in the face of Brosmer, and that's really the key to the Michigan pass rush, is that they get interior pass rush into the lap of the quarterback with their big defensive tackles, and now afresh, Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham, 78 and 55 on the field for a 3rd down. Watch this pass rush from the interior.
3rd down and 11 from the 12. Trips at the top of your screen. Jordan Newman in at running back. They get it off in time. Brosmer over the middle. Caught, but not enough for 1st down. About a 9-yard gain on 3rd and 11. Quentin Johnson, first man to him.
It looks like everyone's blitzing. What happens at the snap of the ball? Everyone backs out. That's what's so difficult facing Wink Martindale. You see that as a quarterback, Gus, there's just no way to diagnose what's going on pre-snap. He's one of the best 3rd down play callers in all of football, any level. And it's because of that disguise that he uses, in particular on 3rd down, and he gets off the field here and forces a punt.
And Martindale and his defense forcing the first 3 and out for Minnesota in this game. Tyler Morris ready to receive. Consistent rain from the very beginning. Ball fair caught at the 40-yard line, a 41-yard punt. 7-0 Michigan. Michigan, Minnesota, 7-0. Our score, 1st down and 10 at the 39 for Alex Orji and the Michigan offense. Kalel Mullings right next to him. Play fake. Orji to throw it. Underneath. Caught. Nice catch. Colston Loveland had to kind of turn around to get that one. But a 1st down, though, for the Michigan offense.
Yeah, just a touch behind him. Well, what a great adjustment there from Loveland to go back to his left shoulder and be able to grab that. Comes off hanging his head just a little bit. Remember, he did not play a week ago, so hopefully he didn't tweak anything that he was dealing with. There's that adjustment going back, and he's able to catch that ball for a 1st down.
10-yard gain, 1st down to the 49. Orji looks comfortable throwing the football. They'll hand it off. Mullings trying to make people miss. They'll gain a couple. Baranowski with the tackle. Let's go downstairs to Jen.
Well, guys, I had a chance to catch up with Coach Fleck briefly after that 1st quarter. You guys have been all over 3rd down. It's the first thing he said to me. 3rd down has to be better. He does believe that they will have the ability to run the ball against them. But as he's been saying all week, this game will come down to our ability to stop the run, and it has to be better.
2nd down and 10 at the 49. No gain on the last play. Orji rolls out of the pocket, looking, throws, incomplete. Looked like he had his man, Kendrick Bell, Ronnie Bell's little brother from Kansas City, but he couldn't hold on. 3rd down and 10, and Bell gets up limping.
Orji did a great job. He reads number 1. He's not there. He goes to Bell, and Bell just can't corral it. And then something on that right leg, he immediately grabs for that right leg and heads over to the sideline. That is not what you want to see. A guy that they're very high on. Like you said, Ronnie Bell's brother. He's very athletic. He's tall, 6'2", 191 pounds.
3rd down and 10 at the 49.
Timeout, Michigan.
And the Wolverines
Their second
decide
and
to
a half.
call a timeout. Dello now recruiting full-time fans. Please drink responsibly. Families affected by Hurricane Helene urgently need support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. Donate today to Hurricane Helene by going to redcross.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. 3rd down and 10 at the 49. 11:39 remaining in the second quarter. Michigan up 7-0. Alex Orji, their quarterback, has looked solid, both running and passing the football. And throw. Orji, sideline, incomplete. That one thrown low. Michigan will have to punt it away.
You know, they're trying to throw an out route right here to Loveland. But watch the outside linebacker. This is number 14. That's Kerry Brown. And Kerry Brown is there the entire time. And Orji basically just has to throw it away from him. If he tries to actually complete that ball, Brown's going to intercept it and probably go for 6.
So Tommy Doman will cook it. Boy Parrish ready to return inside his own 10. That one over his head and into the end zone. 51-yard punt. Next on Fox, after their Hail Mary overtime win last week, Coach Prime and Shedeur Sanders look to lead Colorado to another victory against UCF, then under the lights at 11 Eastern. Heisman candidate Dylan Gabriel in Oregon take on UCLA, all right here on Fox. Were you in the fetal position
Yes.
when your Colorado Buffaloes needed a Hail Mary to win that game last week?
Oh, man, they never make it easy.
Against Baylor.
This is going to be a great game. I tell you what, this UCF offense, they can run the rock. KJ Jefferson, he's a transfer from Arkansas. Gus Malzahn, they do a great job. But I tell you what they don't do a great job of, defending the pass. There could be a lot of points and yards in that game coming up on Fox.
1st down and 10 of the 20. Darius Taylor with Brosmer. Taylor trying to get through the hole. Does. Quentin Johnson brings him to the turf.
There was a little flinch prior. I thought this was a false start, and I think it is, yeah. So this will be backed up.
Remains 1st down.
I thought Greg Johnson there, BJ Fleck's got to be frustrated with these penalties on the 1st down. Watch Greg Johnson, the center, just a little bit of a flinch right before the snap. Yeah, right there, and then that's when they blew it dead, and now it's going to be backed up.
That'll make it 1st down and 15. From the 15. Looks like Michigan wants to bring pressure. Here's a reverse. Minnesota in trouble. Taylor trying to get somewhere. He can't do it. Yair Hill there to string out the play. A loss of 3.
Yeah, just kind of a give to Darius Taylor over on the right side, and they do a great job of getting upfield, forcing him back. Derek Moore was kind of the initial Michigan player there to force him back in deeper, and then everybody else rallying up to make that tackle. And you see there the pursuit from this Michigan defense, and another great opportunity here to create some good field position for their offense.
2nd down and 18 at the 12. Max Brosmer Sideline throw, and it's caught. Daniel Jackson tries to turn it up and get to the 20. He loses it. Michigan says they have the football. Do they? Zeke Berry came out with it, and it looks like we've got a turnover. And you know what these defenders do when they force a turnover?
Daniel Jackson fighting and fighting and fighting, and there's Zeke Berry, and he just wrestles it away from him in there. Zeke Berry, he knew Jackson was stood up, so he just goes after the football, and there he comes out of the pile with the ball and sets up Michigan with unbelievable field position here for their offense inside the 20-yard line.
So the Cardi boys, they got the Cardi glasses on, Cartiers, folks. That's what they do. They put on the fancy sunglasses when they force a turnover. That's their turnover chain. Will Johnson, their All-American cornerback, has his own little sunglasses business. He does the replicas, sells them for 20 bucks. It's got international distribution in China. First down and 10 at the 16. Here's a handoff. Mullings with room. Mullings, powerful run. Kalel Mullings will pick up a first down. And talking to him yesterday, Joel, it was so much fun. He said he wears size 15, and he's had these big feet since he was 12 years old.
Yeah, that's right. So that's why he thought he was going to be a linebacker. But guess what? He is nimble enough. Look at that move in the hole, and he makes that move on Kerry Brown 14. Watch like this. Just a little bit of a shake in that phone booth. And yes, he can run you over, but he's also got a little wiggle to him as well.
First down and goal at the 6. This is usually Mullings' time. They'll give it to him again. He just crashes forward, and he'll get inside the 5-yard line and even more, all the way down to the 2. A 5-yard gain. And he said playing linebacker is what has really allowed him to be a physical and bruising running back.
Yeah, that's right. And Sharon Moore knows that these style of possessions, Gus, this right here, this power run game, you get the ball after a turnover, it's smash mouth football. These are tone setters for your entire offense. There's nothing that the former offensive line coach Sharon Moore likes more than putting the game in the hands of those big guys up front.
Second down and goal at the 1, out of the I formation. Mullings the deep man. They'll give it to him. Second man throw. Power running. Touchdown, Michigan. Big foot. Getting them puppies organized and into the end zone. What a great block by Max Bredesen.
And I tell you what, you get all these extra offensive linemen in there. You've got the extra offensive lineman, Andrew Gentry, number 75, and then you get Bredesen. He's always going to open up a hole, and then it's just the power of Mullings. You cannot beat him if you're contacting him at the goal line. He's too powerful.
Mullings 2 rushing touchdowns in each of the last 3 games. Michigan trying to make this a 14-0 game, and they do. 8:59 to play in the second quarter. Michigan grounding and pounding. Kalel Mullings. Jerome Moore says we'll take it.
Opens SEC play against Kentucky. Oklahoma State and Kansas State clash in the Big 12 Top 25 Showdown. Plus, can Coach Prime and Colorado come up with another miracle? Gus and Joel, my guys. We'll see you at the half.
All right, Sergeant Mike, thank you very much. You don't realize Sergeant Mike's a big, he's about 6'3".
Oh, yeah, you don't mess with Mike.
Oh,
no,
man.
no. You don't mess with Mike.
He will body slam you, bro. 34 points off turnovers this season, tied for most in the Big Ten for the Wolverines. Let's check in with JT.
Well, I love, Gus, that we have been chatting about Kalel Mullings and just how versatile he is on the football field. Well, that all started really in high school because he was playing every single position. And by the way, he was also playing the saxophone. He was singing in the choir. He made it look easy. Then he comes to Michigan. Gus, you mentioned he had those big feet. They thought he was going to get bigger playing linebacker. Coach Harbaugh said, how about you give it a go at running back? Well, I feel like Harbaugh may have been on to something. What a fit. Now, I asked him what he loves most about running back. He said it's seeing the green grass in front of me. Nothing left to do but just run and score those touchdowns. He also said his defensive experience, that is what's making him so good as a back.
All right, Jen, thank you so much. Size 15 at 12 years old for Mullins. Grosmer pulls it down, buys time, and just throws it out of bounds. That Michigan defense bringing a lot of pressure, as usual, for Wink Martindale.
Well, this is the best part, is that they don't have to because of the coverage. So you can just sit there and rush 4, and then you get all your secondary strength back there covering, and there's nowhere to go with the football. Everybody's got eyes in the backfield, and if you're Max Brosmer, you're looking out there and you're like, hey, like I see 3 of them, and it's like, it's not Rocky. You can't just hit the one in the middle. There's just too many guys on the field because you can only rush 4 if you're Michigan.
Minnesota with only 69 total yards of offense. Taylor. And he's stopped by Barham. A 5-yard gain.
Yeah, it's unspoken how much confidence this group clearly got from that win over USC. Because today, I just sense that this Michigan team, they know exactly who they are. There's no questions with all these inexperienced and new faces that we're seeing this year. They are coming into their own right before our eyes.
3rd down and 5 at the 30. Wolverines, with that loss to Texas, changed a lot of things when they got back to work. Grosmer over the middle and incomplete. Good defense again by the Wolverines. This time Hillman breaking it up. Elijah Spencer, the intended receiver.
Yeah, it's great coverage by Hillman. He just got in the back pocket right here. Here's Hillman, number 6, and watch, he's just in man-to-man coverage, and he's just going to catch up, and then he's going to be right there at the throw point. That's a terrific job, just blanketing the wide receiver and making it difficult on the quarterback to have a large window to throw the football, and Michigan again gets off the field.
Mark Crawford send it away. He's at the 15. Tyler Morris, the deep man, at the 30. Angle toward the far side, and fair caught at the 25. A 45-yard punt. The Minnesota-Michigan rivalry is one of the oldest in college football, dating back to 1892. In 1903, the Little Brown Jug became the trophy of the rivalry, when Fielding Yost in Michigan forgot their water jug in Minnesota. The Gophers refused to give it back until Michigan beat them. Since then, the jug has changed hands 25 times, and Michigan leads the series with 77 wins. My question is, what did Fielding Yost have in that jug back then? Was it Gatorade? No. Was it moonshine?
Oh, it wasn't Gatorade. That wasn't invented till, what was it, the 70s, I think?
At Florida.
Yeah, that's right.
1st down and 10 from the 25. Mullins. And Mullins make that orgy. Looks like he's tackled either at or behind the line of scrimmage. Devin Eastern defensively, a loss of 1.
What's interesting is, we don't talk a lot, or haven't talked a lot, about the fact that Michigan's got all these new players and a new play caller. And so here you got Kirk Campbell, who's basically learning this on the fly as well. And I felt like his game plan today has been more simplified in the passing game, and it's helped Alex Orji out get some of those completions.
Orji looking, Orji dancing. Now runs it, and it'll go out of bounds. Gains about a yard. Cody Lindenberg right there.
Boy, he's looking for Kendrick Bell on kind of a single receiver route, and Bell either slipped or got thrown down on the outside. Here's Bell right here. They're trying to isolate him and get him on like a deep corner, and he just kind of gets thrown down and then falls down, and that's when Orji had to leave the pocket. So part of this, the growing pains for this Michigan team, is also the fact that they're trying to find more threats on the outside, and now they'll send all of them out here. Empty backfield, Gus, for Alex Orji.
Alex Orji, they say he's got a cannon for an arm. Let's see if he decides to one day throw it deep. Here's Orji looking over the middle. Incomplete. Marlon Klein, closest man to the football, and the Wolverines will have to send it away.
Boy, that one came very close to actually being picked off. The safety, Coy Parrish, number 3, was heading over to that side, And Orji was trying to hit the tight end right up that near seam, I would call it. And Coy Perch, the true freshman, a guy that Minnesota's very high on, almost had his hands on that football.
Tommy Doman will send it away from the 11. Perich on special teams as well at the 25. His start from the 20 with a lane. Nice return. Crossing the 40-yard line up to around the 43, a 22-yard return. Christian Bovin with the tackle on special teams. Let's go downstairs to Jen.
And I had a chance to catch up with Coach Fleck before the game. There's actually a pretty cool tradition that the Gophers are proud of. It's something Fleck started at Western Michigan. Every time they come to an away game, the players actually bring a little bit of their turf, of their field. They like to leave it wherever they're playing. The goal today, make the big house our house. I had a chance to ask Quinn Carroll about this tradition. He said our culture travels with us wherever we go. We're going to need that culture today to get the win and stay in this one.
PJ Fleck in his 8th season at Minnesota. He has been a wonderful coach for the Golden Gophers. First down and 10 at the 42. And it's Taylor. But back to PJ Fleck. He had an 11-2 mark in 2019 and back-to-back 9-4 seasons in 21 and 22. Failed a little short last year, but take a look at what he's been able to do. 15 and 36 in his 8th season, 5-0 in bowl games. He's never had back-to-back losing seasons. Had a losing season last year, only 6 wins, but a lot of times coaches' names get passed around for these big-time jobs. And PJ Fleck, they don't talk about it. As Brosmer in trouble, Kenneth Grant looks like he'll be credited for the sack.
You know, last year after Chip Kelly left UCLA, there was some talk about UCLA, and obviously PJ Fleck's name came up, and because of that, he actually got an amendment in his contract in the offseason. Not necessarily an extension, but an amendment, a little bump in pay for his assistants, the assistant pool at Minnesota. So Fleck is signed for about 6 more years with Minnesota, and I echo what you said. He's done a heck of a job.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable coach, unbelievable enthusiasm and charisma. 3rd down and 11 from the 41. Brosmer and Trevor goes down. Mace in the place. Mason Graham. The All-American, a loss of 10.
You can't single block this guy. He's just going to beat you right to the inside. There's 55, and they single block him with a guard, and he's too quick and nimble. The former wrestler, he's just so good and agile. He just beats him to the inside and then closes on the quarterback, nowhere to go. Mason Graham having another year for Wink Martindale that could wind up as an All-American.
So on 4th and 21, Minnesota will have to punt it away. This Michigan defense seems like it's getting better as this game progresses.
Every series, 4 straight drives now. Minnesota is
blocked, loose, picked up. Michigan has it down at the 10. But there is a flag on the play. Bovin with the recovery. Christian Bovin, the senior from Traverse City.
Illegal formation. Kicking team number 18 was not lined up on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. First down, Michigan.
So Wolverines block a punt.
I believe this is 52. This is Keshawn Bennett, an edge player. Beautiful job. Gets the block. Bovin comes in for the recovery. There's Bennett right off the foot of Crawford. Michigan gets the block, sets it up perfectly, and now another short field, another possession starting inside the 20 for Alex Orji in this offense.
First down and 10 at the 11-yard line. Donovan Edwards, the pistol back. Orji dumps it off. He's got his man. Morris, and he's down at the 1-yard line. Tyler Morris almost got in.
Did you see how quick he got Morris the ball? That's what Sherrone Moore is going to be happiest with as they take kind of a look at where actually he went out. There he's leaving the field of play. I don't think he had touched. If he's able to get that right elbow with the ball all the way to the pylon before hitting any part of his body in the white, then that's going to be a touchdown. You see how he kind of takes off, Gus? I think that's a touchdown. That right leg never touched the sideline as he almost kind of kept himself in the air, hovering toward the pylon.
After review, it was determined the runner hit the pylon. It is a touchdown.
Touchdown, Michigan. Tyler Morris.
Here's another look. Morris confirmed in review. Watch his right leg stay up off the turf. There's the elbow with secure possession of the ball. It's across the goal line at that point. It is a touchdown for Michigan. Give Morris a heck of a lot of credit for staying up as he's heading to the pylon, and also his quarterback for giving him the ball quickly with room to run.
Michigan trying to take a 21-0 lead, and they do. Alex Orji not doing a lot, but doing enough in the passing game.
It's details, and the details matter at this position. You've got to be the leader of your group, and today already 4 of 8 for 36 yards and a touchdown. You take a look at some of these plays, whether it's third down or even right there for the touchdown pass. Gus, as a quarterback, you write down all these things in your playbook. Well, off of that little play action on that touchdown pass, one of the details would be if Morris is open, get him the ball right away, because the more he has to stretch that route out, the more the sideline becomes an influence. So watch how quickly he gets the ball to Morris outside of the play action. So here's the route, and then watch the ball come out right now. Okay, so now Morris has room to run and turn up the field. If he just takes a beat longer, Morris doesn't have that opportunity. So the details showing up for Alex Orji already today in his second start.
Third passing touchdown of his career. Michigan 14 points now off 2 Minnesota mistakes, a fumble and a block punt. Parrish. And he has the fair catch at the goal line.
Well, this Michigan team, there's so much, and you hear me, you probably roll your eyes at me all the time. I talk about their blueprint, and it's like how they have to win. You know, as a team, think of it this way. If you're a head coach, any team out there, Jones Junior High, Michigan Wolverines, Dallas Cowboys, who are you? Where are you going? How are you going to get there? And as a coach, you have to define those principles and terms for your team. And over the opening month of the season, in large part because of all the new faces for Sharon Moore, including himself in that position as a head coach, they're trying to learn and define who are we as a team. Well, guess what? We're starting to see that define itself here before our eyes. Dominant defense, being on the ground. Alex Orji with some detailed play at quarterback.
Brosmer winds up, wants to throw the deep ball. And intercepted. Jair Hill. Not only did he track that ball down in midair, but how did he get a foot in?
I didn't think he did.
I didn't either.
Is that right foot in? My goodness, it looks like that right foot was in. Now, if his heel lands, that whole step has to be in. He does have control, it looks like, of that football. And then you just have to understand, like, even if the toe hits first, as the heel goes down to the turf,
whole foot, right?
That's right. That's right. The entire foot has to stay inbounds. Control first, and then you're looking for the whole foot inbounds. That's very difficult to say from that angle.
And to overturn, would you say?
Absolutely.
The ruling on the previous play was an interception. The play is under further review.
Gus, it looked like he didn't even turn until the ball was basically in his chest. Did you see how late he turned to defend the ball? He did a great job. First of all, this is like
graduate level stuff.
Well, not the turn is, yes, but at first it's cornerback 101 because he presses. Watch him press the go right, the wide receiver, all the way up against the sideline. So now he's taking away the space of the wide receiver by pushing him up against the sideline, and then he turns to defend the ball. That's a beautiful job. Now, whether he gets a foot down or not, you know, that's just athleticism. I just don't know if you can overturn that. Like, I mean, is it totally in? Probably, maybe.
One way or the other, just a tremendous play by Yair Hill, redshirt freshman from Kankakee, Illinois.
And this is a secondary.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Michigan.
Man, what a play. So Hill gets the interception, and this was a secondary that there were some questions about. No one had questions about Will Johnson, but obviously with him out, now you've got Amir Hall and Jair Hill in there, new corners for this year. You had to kind of replace the safety position. Rod Moore tore his ACL, so he's not in there, and now this revamped secondary starting to make some plays for this team.
So a first down for Michigan at the 40. More opportunity for Alex Orji. Hand it off. Edwards. And the Don will pick up 2.
And, you know, one of the things that Sharon told us that he learned about this team, and even himself, and the way that they need to win the ball game. And I know that this could go without saying, but he just thought, you know, we had to make a quarterback change because of turnovers. We are not a team that can overcome turnovers. We're not a shock and awe team. We're a ground and pound team. We've got to possess the football, and that's why he thought that number 10 was his best option at quarterback, and he's proven to be right.
Second down and 8 at the 42. Orji rolls out of the pocket, tries to square his shoulders. Orji striding, and it'll go out of bounds as he crosses the line of scrimmage 4 yards. Jerome Moore told us something interesting. He said after the Texas loss, he started to spend a little bit more time with the offensive line to give them more confidence.
Well, and he knows that group needs confidence. Why? Because he was their coach. He is an offensive line coach. Even when he was the coordinator last year, he coached those guys up front. And he knows that the heartbeat of any football team, any level, rests inside of those 5 guys up front on the offensive side. He knew that these guys needed to gel and gain some confidence.
Third down at 6 at the 44. Orji looking for that first down. Orji in trouble and sack. Great job, Ja Joyner with the sack. And that should take us to the 2-minute timeout. Michigan will punt it away, but the Wolverines lead it 21-0. 2 minutes to play in the first half. Back to Ann Arbor after this. Minnesota, 2 minutes to play in the second quarter. Wolverines doing it on all sides of the football, offense, defense, and special teams. First down, make that 4th down. And this one, they're caught at the 21. 42-yard punt.
Minnesota's just desperate for anything offensively. And I mean, you think about now the turnovers, and now Brosmer's coming out. I've always thought and listen, I was in this position, Gus. I remember what it was like to throw a bad interception. Brosmer throws a bad interception. Typically, you get safe play calls right after that. Now, you might not get that inside of 2 minutes, but you're going to get a short pass or a run. You know, I always felt like as a defensive coordinator, this is when it's an opportunity to be at your most aggressive.
First down to the 22. Brosmer, screen, nothing doing. Michigan ready for it. Makari Page. But there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, they hit Brosmer late, a couple of Michigan Wolverines.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 1, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Barham.
And Barham, who was the transfer from Maryland, 6'3", 250 pounds. Here he is, number 1. And he's coming in and just late by a couple steps and just gives a forearm shiver right to the chest. Clearly time to pull up there, and not a penalty that you need to take because it gives them now a little bit of field position here with 1:48 left.
First down at the 37. Near side throw, nothing again. Wow. Barham just gobbling up the receiver. That's a loss of 1, makes it 2nd down and long.
Yeah, this linebacker core is fast. Hausman and Barham, they can cover a lot of ground.
Brosmer underneath this time, looking for the 1st down, and it's Darius Taylor. He'll lean forward close to it. Page with the tackle, a 10-yard gain on 2nd down and 11. Let's see if Minnesota stays on the field.
They got to move quickly here now, a minute 10 counting.
3rd down and 1. Can they keep it going? And they get the 1st down.
Darius Taylor, the ball carrier.
Taylor. Minute to go. From the 48. Brosmer, pocket collapses. Guess who? Double nickel. Mason Graham. Another sack. Yes, he's got onions.
Look at him just push the pocket right back into the lap of Brosmer. I mean, he just 2-point stance. It's like he's a sprinter start. He's doing nothing but rushing the quarterback right there. We've seen the speed and agility getting around the guard, and right there rocks him to sleep with a power rush right into the lap of Brosmer.
Looks like he's got some new ink on that left arm as well, Joe.
Can't keep up with all the ink over there, right? I mean, this guy is, it's just so rare to find a defensive tackle that can make and have this amount of production, both in sacks, in terms of tackles for loss, and just regular tackles.
From day one when he stepped on campus.
That's right, even as a true freshman. You know, we saw him playing, and obviously he was a dominant force last year on this national championship defense, and now he's looked at as one of the leaders and the guy that needs to carry them to where they want to go.
3rd sack for Michigan, 2 for Graham. 2nd down and 17. Here's a shovel pass. Hausman with the tackle on Darius Taylor. 7-yard pickup. 36 seconds and counting. 3rd and 10. Brosmer, nice throw. Beautiful catch. This time, Daniel Jackson will gain 19.
Great timing route on the outside with Daniel Jackson, and that's the combo on film that impressed me quite a bit. Listen, when I watched Brosmer.
Who's got it?
Oh,
Minnesota says they have it at the 1 with 2 seconds to go. Wow. Nick Leichel. And he'll kick the field goal, and it's good.
That's incredible. That was incredible.
Somehow made the catch all the way down at the 1-yard line, and Minnesota will get out of the first half with points. They get 3.
You know what was even more impressive is, yes, he goes up and catches this. Callerup is going to come down with this football. But the more impressive part is that the field goal team was ready to run on the field immediately. They run on the field, and they're able to just transition and substitute right there, and they run on the field, and they get set up and execute a kick with only 2 seconds left on the clock. That is just textbook stuff right there. Beautiful execution from Minnesota.
So despite the miscues, Minnesota will get 3 points as they head into the locker room at halftime. Coming up next, it's the State Farm halftime show.
Here are your first half stats, and Minnesota outgained Michigan 130 yards to 107. They had more total plays, but the 2 turnovers, those sacks, it just never felt like Michigan was being threatened in that first half. And to be quite honest, they didn't have to drive the length of the field, and they were doing it, at least on the defensive side, Gus, at will.
Wolverines will get the football to start the second half. Harris back deep, and let's check in with Jenny Taft.
Well, there were so many highlights, Gus, defensively that you guys pointed out. Obviously, Sharon Moore was disappointed in the way they ended that half. He said, we just have to finish. Of course, I will be addressing that with our group. Biggest adjustment he wants to see from Orji, better job going through his progressions, but also our receivers need to do a better job at getting open for him. Now, PJ Fleck said that's something we practice every day. It was very big for them to get those points before the half, but this is about a response in the second. They didn't have it against Iowa last week. He wants to see them respond right now.
All right, first down to the 25 for the Wolverines, and they'll run it on first down with Kalel Mullings. They'll gain a yard. Logan Redding defensively for the Gophers.
You know, I was so impressed with that last sequence from Minnesota, and then, you know, we go into the half, and I think to myself, man, if they were that efficient to run their field goal unit on the field, why didn't they just run up and quarterback sneak it at the 1 or 2 yard line there to try to get a touchdown? But honestly, 21-3 kicking the ball to Michigan to start the second half, I just don't know how much that field goal gets you. But if they could have gotten a touchdown and really stole a whole possession, that would have been significant.
Orji fires the football, incomplete. That one thrown a tad bit high. Tyler Morris, the target, brings up third down and long.
Third down was solid in the first half for the Michigan offense. They were 3 of 7. Orji on his first third and long ended up taking the ball and running. We'll see where they go here, and it's a combination. They've got to find someone that they can rely on the outside. To me, it really is Colston Loveland. He's going to be the tight end right here in the slot.
Third down and 9 at the 26. Orji hit as he throws, got it away, not enough for the first down, but he stood in there as Bell made the reception. Tackled by Zaquan Bryant, an 8-yard gain on 3rd and 9.
And an inexperienced route from Kendrick Bell. He's got to get there and stay past the chains. He comes all the way past the marker, the line to gain the 35-yard line. And now it's going to be 4th down, and Sharon Moore is going to keep the offense on the field. You see the hit Orji takes. Gus Orji and the offense back on the field.
Let's see if Sharon tries to draw Minnesota offside. 4th down and 1. Well, they snap it, and they run it. And second effort for Mullings. Gets a first down, but it was dicey.
Boy, that spin back to his left is what's going to get him the first down. There is nothing there. As he's going up into this right side, it's not there. Bang, he's stonewalled. Great job by that defense. There's the spin, and then just the leap forward. He needed to get the ball all the way to the 35-yard line. He got it just past the 35 as Bryson came up, Coleman Bryson, number 16, and tried to prevent him. And boy, what a great spin and second effort.
First down, Michigan at the 36. Here's a pitch. Outside, and Mullings going to that short side, able to break tackles and pick up positive yardage. He'll get 3.
And last week, how big was 4th down? This was the opening possession of the game. They get a 4th down, and it set the tone for Sharon Moore. Then they get a 4th down later in the game. A snap later, Mullings took it the distance, and then, of course, to end the game with the offense on the field, they get the touchdown inside of a minute. 3 different times they went for it on 4th down, one of them in their own territory like we just saw here. And again, Sharon Moore trying to establish an identity for this new young offensive line.
2nd and 7 at the 39. Orji underneath. Nice throw. Great catch. Colston Loveland. A 10-yard gain.
Well, here's what I love is that if you're going to get a slant right here in the interior of the field, that ball has got to be on the frame or on the face mask of the wide receiver. That's exactly where Orji puts it. You see some flashes right here from Orji, some timing, some ball placement, and it's better than we saw against USC. So every week you'd like to see a little progression from this new quarterback.
Coach Klatt, what's the easiest throw for a quarterback?
I think that it's the slot slant route. I think that's a very easy throw because you can just basically hammer it right on the frame of the wide receiver.
First down at the 49. Orji steps up in the pocket. Orji has to make a decision, doesn't make it quickly enough. He'll lose yards on this play. Alex Orji trying to buy time and just couldn't.
His legs are going to end up being a factor in this season. There's no doubt. He's just too athletic and too dynamic. But right now what they're trying to do with his offense is try to establish what can we do throwing the football. They've simplified some of the structures for today, and they're trying to get him to just read right through the progression, make those reads, and be decisive with the football.
And a timeout call by Minnesota.
I think that PJ Fleck, he wants a conversation with the official on the far side there about, I don't know, about maybe Alex Orji stepped out of bounds. Maybe he was unhappy with the spot. Definitely having a conversation there on the far side.
You talk about Alex Orji getting back to him. We've seen a lot of quick hitters as you take a look at the play again. Baranowski giving chase. Where did he step out is the question. So as they sort this out, we'll step away. Minnesota, Michigan, back to score. 2nd and 9, midfield. Edwards in the game. Orji finds him in space. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Joyner.
Complete to Donovan Edwards.
Defensively.
This is an offense that last week against USC just went dormant in the second half. They didn't do anything. They didn't have a first down until that long run that Khalil Mullings broke late in the game to set them up for that late score. So the question becomes, like, as you simplify the offense, does the defense figure it out and you become easier to stop as the game goes on?
3rd down and 9. Would love to see Orji air the football out. A lot of short passes. Here he is, Orji, stepping up, scrambling. Now runs it. Lowers his shoulder. Gets out of bounds. Close to the first down. Let's see. I don't think he has enough.
Well, he gets a block right there from Donovan Edwards, and then he's going to lower the shoulder as well. And it's just a matter of when he actually went out. I think he actually got the line to gain. That ball was in his right arm as he kind of turns that right side down the field. And does he stay in? Yeah, it looks like he stayed in, and he does get it with his legs. That's the second time today we've seen on a 3rd and long Alex Orji take off with his legs and convert and create a first down. That is crucial.
First down at the 41. Edwards gets through the hole. Nice run. Donovan Edwards gained 6.
Jack Henderson on the tackle.
As Jack Henderson makes the tackle.
I tell you what, this is a nice job by that offensive line, providing a good hold there for Donovan Edwards, who burst through, and a good physical run, in particular on first down. You talk about throwing the ball. What makes it easier to throw the ball? Gus, this situation, 2nd and what I would call medium or even short. This is a great time to throw the ball.
They need 4. Edwards in motion. Reverse. This time, Moore. And doesn't fool a lot of people. Well done by this Minnesota defense led by Ethan Robinson. A loss of 3.
Trying to get a little bit creative there in the run game. Just wasn't there for Frederick Moore, a guy that they're high on. They like his speed on the outside, but that backs him up now. And they'll face another one of these 3rd and mediums here. 3rd and 6 here. Alex Orji got to find his main guys. I do find it interesting. Donovan Edwards is on the field here. He is the 2nd running back. He's right there. I think he's one of the 3 or 4 best pass catchers Michigan has.
They want to get him in space. Here's Edwards. Tries to turn it up. Not a lot of running room. Minnesota celebrating. Only a gain of 2. Jack Henderson again brings up 4th down.
I think if he gets inside of 3 yards there, 4th and 3, they probably go for it. But 4th and 4, good play by the defense, and Sharon Moore is going to send the kicking unit on the field.
Dominic Zabata, he's been wonderful this season when given an opportunity for this Michigan team. Comes into this game 5 of 5 with a long of 55 yards. This one from 53. And good. He has been dynamite this season. 24-3 Michigan. And by Progressive Insurance, cars, homes, boats, motorcycles, RVs, and more. Welcome back, 24-3. Zabata now 6 for 7 from 50-plus yards in his career for Michigan. 4 for 4 this year. And the Wolverines on that drive, 13 plays covering 40 yards, eating up half the quarter, 7 minutes and 24 seconds. Doman, the punter, also serves as the kickoff specialist, sends it away, and it's fair call. Tomorrow, we've got a huge day of football on Fox. At 1 Eastern, Jalen Hurts leads the Eagles against Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. Or at 4, the Patriots take on Brock Purdy and the Niners. Check for the game in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Speaking of, I know this is non sequitur, Joel, but speaking of the Niners and the Eagles, talked to Mark Ingram yesterday. He said a guy like Donovan Edwards would be good on teams like that. Why?
Well, they use versatile backs, and they use them to catch the ball. See, I think the days of like just an every down true tailback are kind of done. If you're going to extend your career at the next level at that position, you've got to be able to catch it.
First down and 10 to the 25, and it is incomplete. Almost intercepted again. Rosemer, dangerous pass. Kari Page, TJ Guy, Barham, all in the vicinity.
And this one was right in the hands of Darius Taylor, his back. He's trying to just throw it right over the ball. And number 1 is right there. He tries to dump it down, and then it's just the Plinko game, and everybody's got a shot at it.
I like that, the Plinko game.
Yeah, that's right.
Blink, blink, blink.
Quentin Johnson even had a chance there late.
Second down and 10. And they'll run it with Darius Taylor, no gain. Once again, Ernest Hausman.
And when this defense is fresh, they're so dominant, and it almost forces you to get creative in those first 2 or 3 or 6 snaps of a series to try to move the chains. You know, the offense for Michigan were just on the field for 7 minutes and 24 seconds. So this defense now has had this lengthy rest. It's a defense that can really get after it. Now it's third down. You just think like, okay, where's the pass rush coming from?
Third down and 10 at the 25. They'll check it, screen, Michigan ready for it. As Daniel Jackson makes the catch, fights for his life for 2 yards. Hausman again. And we've been naming Ernie's name the whole game. He's the Nebraska transfer.
And guess what happens when you give up 4 sacks in the first half? You come out and it's the first third and long in the second half. What do? It's just a little jet screen on the outside. Why? You're trying to protect your quarterback, get the ball out of his hands. So that is an adjustment at half where they think we can't throw drop back pass. And now Michigan can just rally up, make the tackle, force a punt.
Tyler Morris ready to return. Crawford. Morris from 25, hit, stays on his feet, and finally gets knocked out of bounds at the 27, a 52-yard punt and a 3-yard return. Big noon Saturday from Ann Arbor, Michigan. 6:05 to play here in the third quarter. Michigan on top of Minnesota. First down and 10 to the 28-yard line for the Wolverines. Kalel Mullings in the game. Orji swings it out. He's got Edwards in space. Edwards. Nicely done. Flag on the play. 8, maybe a 9-yard gain.
Come back due to a hold out there on the outside.
Holding. Offense number 3. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Frederick Moore.
He's the wide receiver nearest Edwards when he catches the ball, and he's just tackling. He just tackles Jack Henderson. He didn't even put his arms up. Sometimes I laugh like that because it's just so obvious.
Yes.
He's out there, he's trying his best, but he just tackled him.
When in doubt, bring him down.
That's right. That's right. Maybe they won't throw the flag. Who
That's
knows?
right. You never know. First down and 19 at the 19. Orji fires. There you go. Alex Orji throws a dart over the middle. A 16-yard gain. Let him throw the football a little bit.
Well, he's reading through it. You know, it's not about letting him. It's about him getting through the progression. He starts to the left. Good job. 1, 2 is not there. Now he gets to 3. So that's development. You see, you read that all the way across the board, Gus. He starts to his left. His eyes work across the field, and he's going to go to his first open receiver. It's Kendrick Bell. He gets the catch, and now it's 2nd and short. So a quality rep there from Alex Orji. It's not always just like, okay, we're throwing it down the field this time. He's got to work through his progression and make the offense work for him.
That was his longest pass of the day. 2nd and 3. Looks like a timeout, Michigan.
Michigan, they're first of the half.
Time equipment managers for Minnesota and Michigan. It is said that Munson found the water jug left behind by Michigan in 1903 that became the Little Brown Jug. Henry Hatch worked at Michigan for 43 years, living on the grounds of Michigan Stadium. Both were caretakers of the trophy and are part of the history of the Little Brown Jug. Michigan, Minnesota. And Alex Orji wants that brown jug to remain with the Wolverines. He's improving as this game goes on. Going up a little better after that 16-yard completion. 2nd and 3 at the 35. The handoff. Edwards, first down. Donovan Edwards. With a nice run of 10 yards. Don, last week, 14 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown.
I love what they're doing right here. Is they're getting into this 2-back set. Mullings is providing kind of that feature back role, and then Edwards now becomes this guy that you can throw it to on the outside. He can line up everywhere. They're motioning him from wide receiver to the backfield.
Joel, is that a trap play? What kind of play is that coming back like that?
Well, he kind of wraps it back to the opposite side, and the offensive line there is bringing a guard, so it's really kind of a counter play.
Orji. And intercepted. Intercepted by Minnesota. Ethan Robinson. Alex Orji throwing his first interception of the season.
And he has him. I mean, this is just a really poor throw from Alex Orji. Colston Loveland here, number 18. He's wide open. He's got to deliver that ball on the frame. He cannot float that ball towards the middle of the field. There's only a single defender there, so if you're going to bend that player, you bend him towards the outside, not back to the interior. That ball's got to be thrown more firmly and on the upfield shoulder for Colston Loveland, who just gets it taken away, and Ethan Robinson just with a heck of an adjustment right there to get back to that football for the interception.
So Minnesota has it now at their own 24, first down. Brosmer finds his man, Taylor. And Darius Taylor with the first down, tackled by Zeke Berry, gain of 11.
This is their chance. Minnesota has got to start moving a bit quickly because they know that the Michigan offense is going to be methodical. So the expected number of possessions left for Minnesota is just barely above 3. And in a 3-possession game, they got to move quickly.
First down at the 35. Here's Taylor. This time on the ground. 4-yard pickup. Hausman.
What you're seeing from Michigan here, and this is what P.J. Fleck, I think, sees as well, is that on first and second down, they're trying to give those 2 big defensive tackles a little bit of a break.
2nd down and 6 at the 39. Over the middle. Safe play. Taylor. Hausman for Michigan. 3-yard pickup.
So Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant are not on the field here on some of these first and second downs. They're trying to get them a bit of a spell so that in a pass rushing situation or in a big situation, they'll jog back on the field here. So Minnesota just put extra offensive linemen on, and now the big 2 defensive tackles back on the field, 78 and 55 for a 3rd down stop.
3rd down and 3 at the 42. Mason Graham. 320. Kenneth Grant. 340.
Brosmer split out wide.
And they'll run it. And a first down for Minnesota. Darius Taylor out of the Wildcat.
And he does a great job here with the fake into the inside, and then he gets himself going out to the outside. Beautiful block there. The extra offensive lineman that comes in, mashes down the right side of the defense. That was Quinn Carroll, 77, with the best block there, and it springs Taylor for a bit of a crease and a first down.
From the 46. Minnesota trying to find some rhythm offensively. It's been tough against this Michigan defense. Brosmer scrambles on the move. Oh, beautiful throw and a nice catch at the 30 as Brockington hauls it in, found a soft spot.
There's a flag down in the backfield.
Holding. Offense number 77. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Quinn Carroll, the right tackle.
And he gets caught grabbing the jersey of Derek Moore, number 8. So right in the middle of your screen right here. And as Brosmer comes out and breaks contain and runs out of the pocket, he's got a hold of the jersey now. The flag didn't come out, though, until Brosmer takes off. And then right there, the stretch of the jersey. And that's when the flag came out as Brosmer left to the right side.
So first down and 20 at the 36. Brosmer to the sideline. Caught. Spencer turns it up. Gets his feet moving and will get the midfield. A 13-yard gain off first and 20. Zeke Berry with the tackle.
Well, it's interesting because Michigan has brought more blitzes on this series, and that screen was set up beautifully, but Rolder just made a great tackle.
2nd and 7. Minnesota moving quickly. Here's Brosmer. Guns it and caught at the 40. Elijah Spencer. Gain of 11. First down.
And you see how much slower the rush is after you can extend the drive now, and you get these guys tired, and Brosmer's got time to throw.
That's what Texas did to Michigan. First down and 10 at the 40. Texas going side to side. Steve Sarkisian wanted to get Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant tired.
Offside. Defense number 26 entered the neutral zone, caused the offensive player to react. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That's Rayshawn Benny out of Oak Park. He's a Detroit native, 6'4", 296, as we mentioned, and he wears number 26. What's up with a 300-pound guy wearing 26?
Oh, man. Dreams of running back days past, maybe? I'm not sure.
First and 5 at the 35. Brosmer, backside throw. And he has his man Taylor. Taylor with the first down as he gets to the Michigan 25. Stopped by Benny again. That'll take us to the end of the third. Fourth quarter coming up. Michigan, Minnesota.
Creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Well, this Michigan team have been able to be effective running the football today. Khalil Mullings right off the bat in their first possession. They're able to get into the end zone. The defense has forced a couple of turnovers. Zeke Berry, that led to a touchdown. Mullings again from 1 yard out. He found the end zone. Special teams has chimed in as well. Good block punt there. Christian Balvin recovers, and that allowed Alex Orji find Tyler Morris. Beautiful little touchdown on the outside, but Minnesota driving a little bit here. They're down 3 possessions, and this offensive series has been their best offensive series, really, of the entire game.
Brosmer 5 for 5 on this drive. First down and 10 of the 26. Brosmer, play fake, sets up, wants to run it, and he'll slide down at the 20, just short of the 20.
You know, you can see that this tempo has given Michigan problems, so they increase the tempo. They're going much faster as an offense, and then the screen pass has been really effective for them on this series.
2nd and 6. Brosmer. That one deflected, line of scrimmage incomplete.
I tell you, Kenneth Grant is one of the best that I've ever seen for a young defensive lineman at having the instincts and the timing to get up and get his hands on the football. And he does it again here. He's being double teamed here from his tackle spot, and yet he still understands when the ball is about to be thrown, and he gets that hand up there and bats it away. Terrific job.
Third down and 6 for Minnesota. Maybe 4-down territory for the Gophers.
I think so. 3-possession game now into the 4th. I think it is.
And some movement on that Minnesota offensive line.
Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Just a little bit of a flinch there, and now they're going to be way backed up. There's the flinch by Quinn Carroll, 77, the right tackle. And, you know, if you're Minnesota, you might not have to get the entire first down here. So if you're the quarterback, Max Brosmer, a completion short of the chains is okay if you know that you're in 4-down territory. What you'd want to do is get in position to be 4th and 4 or fewer.
Third down and 11 at the 27. Brosmer under pressure, lets it fly, incomplete. Had a receiver. That was Jackson, who looked like he had a step, but Brosmer under a lot of pressure to get that one off.
But Gus, watch, if he just hits the back on a check down, now you're going to have 4th and 5. So you've got a safety over the top, a corner deep. He just kind of launches it out of bounds. If he hits his back, Darius Taylor, he's got 4th and 5.
4th and 11, though, at the 27. Can Michigan get off the field? Minnesota desperately needing points. Brosmer needs 11. Atwin again batted down at the line of scrimmage. Looks like Mason Graham this time, and there is a flag.
I think they're going to get Graham maybe hands to the face.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense number 55. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Bails him out here, so he's being double teamed and he's trying to get that bull rush. Watch this right hand, and it goes right up there to the neck, and then he goes up and bats the ball down. I mean, he's a tremendous force in there. He's being double teamed, but that hand definitely up high, and Wink Martindale doesn't like it.
And with Grant and Graham, just watch, folks, as that pocket goes backwards for Minnesota. This guy's getting so much push. First down, though, for the Gophers at the 13. Start of the 4th quarter. This could give them new life if they can score. Brosmer. And he finds his man at the first down marker. Nice job. This time, it's Brockington.
Great timing, and now quickly up to the line of scrimmage.
First down and goal. Brosmer. The handoff. Taylor. Touchdown, Gophers. So Minnesota speeds up their tempo, and they punch it into the end zone for the first time today.
Great block on the outside by 87, Callerup. He seals the edge against Derek Moore, and Darius Taylor curves his way into the end zone. What a beautiful series, taking advantage of that penalty on 4th down from Mason Graham, getting into the end zone. They desperately needed it, and they got it.
Kasich will come in to attempt the extra point. And it's good. Minnesota, 12 plays, covering 76 yards. They eat up 3 minutes and 59 seconds, so 4 minutes. And the Gophers showing some signs.
I feel great about that. They increased the tempo. Okay, so they went a little faster, got that defensive line tired. The pass rush wasn't as effective. They get some first downs and then took advantage of that penalty on Michigan and punched it into the end zone. And now there's a little pressure on this Michigan offense now to go out there and sustain a drive after their defense just saw a 12-play drive from the Gophers.
I remember that all started with the interception thrown by Alex Orji. So we'll see where his confidence is as he comes back on the field. Here's today's Aflac Trivia question, sponsored by Aflac. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover with Aflac. Since 2000, which power conference team has the most wins when passing for less than 100 yards? That's a tough one. Do you know?
It's got to be Iowa. Ooh. Or Michigan. Ooh. I think Michigan,
First out of 10.
You know what? I'm thinking of all the academies. They're not power conference. Georgia Tech ran the triple option with Paul Johnson for years.
Oh my goodness, Joe.
There we go.
You are good, bro. You saw it before.
Huh?
You saw it, didn't you?
They don't say that it's our truck's goal every week to make me look stupid.
Really?
So yeah, it's not hard usually, but
as they say in the SEC, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. 2nd and 2 at the 33. Mullen. And that'll bring up a big 3rd down here, Joel.
yeah, it sure does. And if you're Minnesota, listen, if they pop a big run here, fine, but you've got to sell out. This is it. If you're Minnesota, you send everybody at the line of scrimmage. You send the house. It's man coverage. You cannot put a safety deep here. This is your opportunity to get off the field. Put everyone up near the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 1 at the 34.
Coming back this way. Coming this way, coming this way, coming this way.
And they do bring everybody, and they do tackle Michigan for a loss. What a job. Jalen Logan Redding, a loss of 3 on 3rd and 1.
And what you get here is a miscommunication from the offensive line. So Preby, the transfer from Northwestern, he goes outside and just leaves the interior defensive lineman unblocked. And Logan Redding is right there for the stop, and Minnesota gets a quick 3 and out after their team on the offensive side went 12 plays. That is a perfect series for the Gophers.
Jerome Moore, not a happy man. Different story for P.J. Fleck as Doman sends it away. Parrish with a lane. Bursting outside. Down the sideline. Tommy Doman can't stop him. Parrish all the way down to the Michigan 15. Coy Parrish, what a run.
And now Minnesota has more than life. Coy Parrish, what a tremendous return there on the left side. Thought he might go the distance here. Right there, this move to the outside, boom. Just a terrific job. Doman looks like he's going to have him, and he's able to just scamper out of that tackle from the punter before Bennett's able to get over there by the sideline and knock him out of bounds. Tremendous job setting up his offense, and now they have a chance now at 11:52. Now they've got all the time in the world, in particular with this Michigan defense having just faced 12 snaps and being tired back on the field.
That's a 61-yard punt return. 1st and 10 at the Michigan 17 for Minnesota. They'll throw it underneath, and it's caught. Elijah Spencer leaping forward after the reception. Hausman with the tackle. And he's close to the 1st down, but it'll be 2nd down. Minnesota quickly to the line of scrimmage. This has been giving Michigan some problems. Brosmer hands it off. Straight ahead. Taylor. And why has this quick tempo caused Michigan some problems?
Well, one, because they don't have a ton of depth. And so when you can get them tired, their effectiveness drops way down. And right now, the starter's not even on the field in the interior of that defensive line for Michigan. And so if you're Minnesota, keep them on the sideline. Go fast, don't substitute.
Another handoff. Taylor running. Touchdown. Gophers. Wow. How about this? Minnesota has found Michigan's Achilles heel, and they're making them pay.
This is just a great physical run from Darius Taylor, and this is a kid that I've been very impressed with during the course of last year, his true freshman season, and then now early this season, and just the physical finish at the end there at the goal line, getting into the paint, and Michigan is just back with authority. Minnesota, excuse me.
Minnesota with 2 touchdowns in 2 minutes and 56 seconds. 24-17. We've got a game now, folks. 11:05 to go in the 4th. Gophers figure some things out. Michigan back backpedaling. Minnesota found a wrinkle. They sped up the tempo, and it's changed everything. Michigan, they can't substitute. They're not as depthful as Coach Clickety Joel Klatt would tell us. They're getting tired. Minnesota making them pay for it as they send this one out of bounds. So, Joel, when you look at what Minnesota has done, it just shows you P.J. Fleck keeps his guys fighting, and they're right back in this football game.
Yeah, I love what they've done on the offensive side, and then they've taken advantage when the Michigan offense has made mistakes. We saw Alex Orji throw the interception. They had a long drive and scored a touchdown, and then they got out there and they got a 3-and-out when they needed it most. And that's, again, what I would do if I was on defense for Minnesota right now. If Alex Orji completes a couple of passes, good, tip your cap, but you're not just going to let them run the ball. Send everybody at the house.
And they'll pitch it. Mullings chopped down after a 2-yard gain. Lindenberg, let's go downstairs to Jen.
Well, in terms of Michigan and their offense, important to note that they're playing without their leader, their O-lineman, Miles Hinton. He remains on the bench right now, helmet not in hand. I've been told he's out for precautionary reasons, guys, but it'll be doubtful for his return today.
You know, and that's big, Jenny, because that left side of the offensive line, he was their left tackle, is where they went when they needed it most last week against USC. That's where they trusted the most of that offensive line.
2nd down and 8. And they'll run it. Mullings. Michigan, their last 2 drives, an interception and a 3-and-out. Mullings gains 6 on 2nd and 8. John Joyner brings him down. So a big 3rd down and 2 coming up.
It looks like Ethan Robinson, the corner, is down here for Minnesota.
And maybe cramping up.
You know, even if we'll step aside here, folks. Michigan up against it. It's 3rd down. They're up
8 on 3rd down. Here's a big one here. 3rd down and 2 at the 33. The momentum has swung in a Minnesota's favor. Mullings in the backfield. Can he get the 2? They give it to him. And he will. Just powers his way through the hole.
That's an opportunity there that's lost if you're Minnesota. Look at this, Gus. These 2 guys, they're just too far outside. You got to be up there forcing the run and forcing Michigan to think about throwing that football. You can't just allow the offensive line to come off with numbers and Kalel Mullings get behind his pads to run for 2 yards. That's an opportunity, I think, missed for Minnesota. You got to get everyone up near the line of scrimmage right now.
So a 1st down for the Wolverines at the 38. Mullings remains in the game. Orji wants to throw it. Underneath. Caught. 1st down, Michigan. Nicely executed play. This time it's Colston Loveland with the grab.
Yeah, and a great job by Orji of manipulating the pocket. So watch as he drops back here to throw, and then he's just going to get himself up in the pocket as that rush showed up, and he kept his eyes down the field in order to complete it to Loveland, and they moved the chains.
Leather helmet. Nice look. Orji, 10 of 16, 86 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. His longest pass, 16 yards. He'll pitch it. Mullings, tackle for a loss. They just gobbled him up quickly. In the backfield, Baranowski still down, though, after making the play.
He did a great job reading that little toss and came flying in from that middle linebacker spot. And he was the one in first contact with Mullings. And then just kind of immediately laid down. There's the contact from Mullings, and as he goes down right here, it looks like Mullings might have just kind of fallen right on him.
Maverick Baranowski, Florida native.
Well, he's been playing really well for them.
Yeah, he tied his career high with 10 tackles twice this season against North Carolina in the opener and last week against Iowa.
He's still down there working on that right shoulder.
17, Michigan on top of Minnesota, 8:47 to go. As Baranowski looks at that left shoulder. He's got some pain there. You can see it.
And take a look at how Minnesota started to get back in this game. It started with the turnover. And you're able to get that pick. And then on a 4th down and 11, it looks like Michigan's getting off the field, but a hands to the face on Mason Graham leads to a touchdown. Darius Taylor, 3-yard TD. The defense would get a 3-and-out, and on the ensuing punt, Coy Parrish, 60-yard punt return. He's a guy that they really love. He was a top 100 player nationally. He's a top 5 safety in the class, just a true freshman. And he set up Darius Taylor, who Gus is a Detroit native. And he's had a game here in the second half. Darius Taylor wanted to be recruited by Michigan, wasn't. Minnesota was on him early. Michigan came in late in his recruiting process. He stuck with his commitment to PJ Fleck in Minnesota. He's a Gopher now, and he's coming to the big house. You can imagine just how motivated he is today. His numbers haven't been huge, but in the second half, boy, he's been effective running the football with those 2 touchdowns.
Out of Walled Lake Western High School. 2nd down and 11 at the 48 for Michigan. Mullings. Stood up. Stays on his feet. Hard to bring that man down. An 8-yard gain.
Gus, if I'm Minnesota right now, I'm thinking about the play caller for Michigan, and I'm thinking to myself, who does he trust? There's really 2 things he trusts in this offense. I think PJ Fleck's got to take away Colston Loveland, the tight end, and he's got to take away the run game. If Loveland's not on the field, everybody's got to be focused on the run game. You play man-to-man against everybody else. There's Kirk Campbell, the offensive play caller for Michigan. I'm playing 0 coverage. That means man-to-man, no safety on everybody other than Colston Loveland, and everybody else has got to be focused on the run. This is far too safe a coverage right now for Minnesota. They can just run the ball.
3rd down and 3. They run it. 1st down, Mullings. As you mentioned, partner, Kalel Mullings gets to the 30, a 10-yard gain on 3rd down and 3.
Well, when you get safeties back like that, you can block everybody in the run front, and they have to stop the run. You know that Michigan is going to dial up the run. That's a nice block by Marlon Klein, the tight end, and it's just too easy of a run for Kalel Mullings to move the chains and give you a fresh set.
Mullings, 20 carries, 87 yards. 1st down and 10 at the 30.
These guys have got to come down.
Edwards in motion. Orji. And that one deflected, incomplete. Orji double clutched that football as Ja Joyner had pressure on him.
And that's not what you want to do if you're Michigan, is get into a situation where Alex Orji is patting the football. You know, and the defensive coordinator for Minnesota is Corey Heatherman. He's in his 1st year. They've got 2 shutouts on the year, granted against Rhode Island and Nevada. But this is a defense that was very good the last couple of years, took a step back last season, and he's trying to rebound here with the Gophers.
2nd and 10 at the 30-yard line. Mullings with the lane. Mullings on the move. Mullings all the way down to the 1. But a flag on the play.
Holding. Offense number 5. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat 2nd down.
Well, here's what you got is a safety way back here. So guess what you can do? You can block everybody. Down, you get a kick out, and it's an easy run. Again, I don't know why Minnesota is playing their safety so far back. Mullings just takes off, and then the hold down the field against C.J. Charleston. Here's Charleston, hands way outside of the frame. And so that one's going to come back, and not quite a 1st down now, Gus. It'll be 2nd and short.
They need a yard. Edwards changes sides. They'll give it to him, and he'll pick up the 1st.
Boy, I just question what Minnesota has done on defense on this series. You know, now you're inside of 7 minutes. And you know that Michigan is going to have a hard time throwing the football. They've had a hard time, whether it was last week, even this week at times. Orji has just thrown an interception in this half. They need to get everybody up near the line of scrimmage. They desperately need to stop this series here and keep it within 10.
First down and 10 at the 19. Donovan Edwards, the single setback. You know he can pop one at any moment. Edwards. And he runs into just a wall up front.
But Gus, just strategy-wise, just peel out a little bit, okay, from this game. If you're Sharon Moore, it's second down. You take all the play clock. There is no reason to throw the ball here. You've got to think that with Zavada, their kicker, that they've got 3, which means in his mind he's got a 2-possession game in his pocket as long as he doesn't turn the football over. No passes, just handoffs, and you got to take the entire clock down to 0 on the play clock.
Second down and 9 at the 18. Mullins. And he'll gain a half yard, maybe a yard. Eli Mao.
That was a mistake by Alex Orji. He snapped the football with 9 seconds left on the play clock when the game clock was running. This is inexperience, okay? So he shouldn't have broken the huddle yet. 22, 21, 20. The game clock is running. There's no reason to snap this football unless it's inside of 3 seconds in the play clock.
13th play of the drive coming. Third down and 8. Orji. Low throw, incomplete, stops the clock at 4:37, and it'll make it 4th down and 8.
Yeah, I can't believe that sequence. That was completely mismanaged on the Michigan side from a clock perspective. Minnesota did not have their safeties down, but they could have taken at least 45 to 55 more seconds of game clock away from Minnesota, and in a 2-possession game, that would have been enormous if he can make this kick.
Zavada. Good from 53 and 35 yards. Coming up here. And good. So a 53-yarder and a 35-yarder for Dominic Zavada. We'll stay right here. 33 to go. 27-17.
It's going to be Brosmer and this Minnesota offense that has had a rhythm here in the 4th quarter. And Gus, we've touched on it. They've gone with the quick tempo, trying to get that defense tired. And specifically, when they can get Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham off the field in substitution, that's when they go really fast, and Minnesota doesn't substitute. That doesn't allow Michigan to get those 2 guys back on the field. So Wink Martindale is going to have quite an issue here.
So how do you slow him down if you're Wink?
You got to get him in the first 3 snaps. See that? So now the first 3 snaps of the entire series become the whole series, because once that flywheel has started, now it's already in motion. So Wink Martindale is thinking about first down. How do I have a successful play on first down? What pressure do I have? What defensive look do I have that can get them behind the chains and slow their tempo down? This is what I love about football, is that it's all taking place right now. When we're all just waiting for the kickoff, the coaches are racking their brains with what play call they want to go with on the next snap.
Doman sends it off. Parrish, who had the big punt return, back deep, he'll let it go into the end zone. So 4:33 to go, 4th quarter, 27-17, Michigan. As Mason Graham and the Wolverines come back on defense.
Minnesota has had success on 1st and 2nd down, in particular in the second half with their screen passes. If I was Minnesota, I would look at trying to get one of those screens run and play against the aggressive nature of the Michigan defensive front. They want to rush the quarterback. They want to get upfield. Darius Taylor into that short side of the field, number 1. This would be a great chance to get him in a screen pass here in the next couple of plays.
First down and 10 of the 25. Taylor in the backfield. Brosmer off his back foot, completes it, and out of bounds. A 2-yard gain for Taylor as Hall throws him out of play.
What they're getting in the coverage is a lot of zone coverage. So what you've seen in the second half is Minnesota has been able to connect on some of those curl routes and in-breaking routes, in particular from the outside wide receivers.
2nd and 8 at the 27. Brosmer guns it. Right in the seam, and it's caught. What a throw and catch. Elijah Spencer. He knew he was going to get hit, but he held on for a gain of 19.
It's a terrific pass from Brosmer right down the seam, and he finds him right there, and there's the contact you were talking about.
First down to the 46. Brosmer again to throw. In trouble. Brosmer, and he'll be tackled from behind. T.J. Guy.
T.J. Guy playing for an injured Josiah Stewart, and it should have been a flag for hands to the face because he gets his helmet ripped off by Ursery, the left tackle. No flag came out. He still got the sack, but now he'll have to sit out a play because his helmet came off. How does the flag not come out there?
5th sack of the day for Michigan. 2nd and 12 at the 44. Brosmer. Incomplete. Not necessarily sure who he was throwing that ball to. Rockington was in the vicinity.
It was definitely miscommunication. Here's that last play. Watch as Guy, he gets the hands right to his face, and the helmet came off, and he was still able to get that sack. But that's why I was saying, you see that big left hand, he's pleading with the official. He's like, how do you think my helmet came off?
3rd down and 12 for Minnesota. This may be 4-down territory for P.J. Fleck and his team.
Yeah, 2-possession game. There's no doubt it's 4-down territory.
So they don't need all of it here. Brosmer over the middle, caught. And they'll get close to half of it as Barham makes the tackle on Darius Taylor after a 6-yard gain.
And that's what I was talking about on the previous series. Remember, get half of it back, make the 4th down a much more manageable 4th down. And now it looks like they're going to take a timeout.
With 3:03 to go. Minnesota now with 1 timeout left. Michigan has 2. Gotta like the way P.J. Fleck and his team have fought. That's the thing about Coach Fleck. He's got charisma, he's got enthusiasm, positivity. He's a winner.
And his team understands who they are. Wouldn't you say it? Like the identity of the team, they know how they need to win. They're a disciplined group. You know, you just know what you're going to get from Minnesota. They play really hard. They played a bad half of football last week against Iowa. I thought they probably should have beat North Carolina. They end up getting beat after having a lead at half against Iowa last week. So here they sit at 2-2. This is far better than a 2-2 football team, and we're seeing that fight here in the second half in the Big House.
4th down and 6 for the Gophers. Can they keep the chains moving is the question. Max Brosmer out of the gun. Here's Brosmer. Throws, and it's caught for 1st down. Another great throw. Daniel Jackson with the catch. A gain of 12.
They really left him uncovered. You saw I identified him right before that play. He's their best player on the outside, uncovered. Easy 1st down.
1st down at the 38. Max Brosmer hit as he throws, and incomplete. T.J. Guy with pressure.
What Michigan is trying to do is, well, let's take a look at that 4th down play. And Brosmer, he had time, and Daniel Jackson, you can see, just sets down in the middle of that zone, and it's an easy completion right there for a conversion.
Nail biter for the Wolverines now. 27-17, 2:41 to go. 2nd and 10 at the 38. Brosmer under pressure, gets it away. Spencer makes a nice move after the catch. And he'll gain 6. Barham with the tackle.
We'd love to get this conversion before this 2-minute timeout. They'll go quickly here, try to convert on 3rd.
3rd and 4 at the 32. Brosmer with time. Fires. Caught. Taylor out of the backfield in a 1st down. A 10-yard gain.
Man, I'm just impressed with Brosmer. He just keeps coming in there, hanging in that pocket, finding his check down. That one, Darius Taylor, another conversion, and Minnesota just will not go away.
Taylor has a career-high 10 catches. 2-minute timeout, 27-17 Michigan.
Down, and you're in a position where you're going to have to onside kick, whether you kick a field goal on this drive or you score a touchdown. So now you've got to think to yourself, okay, if we get to 4th and 2 or 3 and less, are we going for it and trying to score a touchdown on this drive, or are we going to take the 3 and then go ahead and try for an onside kick? So that decision needs to have already been made for P.J. Fleck on the sideline.
Gophers with 14 points this quarter and looking for more. First down and 10 at the Michigan 22. Max Brosmer, he's been hot. Incomplete this time. Darius Taylor out of the backfield to target.
From the Michigan perspective, Gus, the only thing that they cannot do is allow a quick touchdown. So I would not expect to see any sort of aggressive blitz from man coverage where you're leaving one Wolverine in a one-on-one situation. I would expect to see zone coverage. If you're Minnesota, you've got to expect the zone coverage and call curl routes, in-breaking routes to the middle of the field.
Minnesota with 1 timeout left, Michigan with 2. 2nd and 10. Under 2 minutes to play here in the 4th. Max Brosmer hit as he throws, incomplete. Looking for his tight end, Callerup. That one thrown high.
And Michigan runs man coverage there. I tell you, this is just hard to get up after you get hit in the chest by Mason Graham right there, right after he throws it. But he's trying to get himself up off the turf. But Callerup had an opportunity at that ball because it was man coverage. I'm shocked that Michigan win man coverage. That's the only thing they cannot do right here is give up a quick touchdown.
3rd down and 10 at the 22. Brosmer, pocket collapsing underneath, caught. Spencer makes the move, still on his feet, and he'll go down inside the Michigan 5. A 17-yard gain. And that will make it 1st down and goal.
And it looks like Makari Page is still down for Michigan after that play. Spencer, great route right there. And again, Michigan goes to man coverage, which puts a defender on an island. Great route from Spencer. Elijah Spencer, as he's trying to cut, there's his knee that actually was down. And so review probably should back that up just a few yards. Looks like about 5 yards as Makari Page came in there with the contact late. Here's that man coverage, Gus, I'm talking about. Look at that. You get beat one time, you could have found yourself giving up 6 points right there. And again, you should be in zone because it's the only thing that you can't give up as a quick touchdown. There's that left knee down clear as day. And I'm sure that they would put that back right about to that 12-yard line.
Page, meanwhile, down. Senior from West Bloomfield, Michigan. A lot of talent coming out of that West Bloomfield area. Donovan Edwards out of West Bloomfield, as well as Samaj Morgan.
I'll tell you, this drive from Minnesota, it's been a lot of Max Brosmer, obviously, but he's hung in that pocket. That was a beautiful throw on that left seam. He's able to get a conversion there quickly on a 4th down. Gets a conversion right there to Daniel Jackson. A check down to Darius Taylor, who's been really good out of the backfield. 10 catches so far today. Brosmer there on man coverage. Elijah Spencer, the transfer from Charlotte, he gets loose. He's been a terrific player for them out of the slot. And it sets him up just outside of the 10-yard line, right about the 13, Gus. And Brosmer on this drive, 7-11 for 72 yards. And he's been hit a couple of times right in the chest, just keeps bouncing back. Really love his ability to come back
just
and
outside the 12
continue to make plays.
Please adjust the game clock to 1:48.
So they're going to readjust the game clock to 1:48. 4th down and 1 for the Gophers. At the Michigan 13 now. Darius Taylor in the backfield. And the quarterback sneak it for the first down. Looks like he has it.
Kept the ball.
And now they got to go quickly here.
Back to the line of scrimmage. 1:45 to go.
Gus, this whole series, they've been able to save that timeout as well. So Minnesota in a decent position.
Right now, the officials don't know, from what I see, if it is a first down. They haven't signaled that it's a first down yet, so they're going to measure. How about Minnesota, though? They have definitely hung in there, fought back against a top 20 team. P.J. Fleck motivating his squad, and a first down for the Gophers. Minnesota trailed 24-3 in the third quarter.
It looked like all Michigan until that interception from Orji, and Minnesota has just poured it on ever since.
Up-tempo offense has worked brilliantly for the Gophers.
Gus, it looks like they're going to be in man defense again here.
First down and 10 at the 12. Keep your eye on number 11. Grosma in the end zone. Whoa, what a catch! Daniel Jackson, no, they say incomplete. Flag on the play.
The flag came out, it looked like, for potential interference right there from Zeke Berry.
Oh my goodness, that's a touchdown to me, Joel. I don't know.
It looks like he secured
out
it.
of bounds. Pass interference. Defense. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Oh no, that's secure. That's going to be a touchdown.
That's a touchdown to me.
No doubt about it, partner, and that was a terrific catch.
Unbelievable for Daniel Jackson. P.J. Fleck says it's a touchdown.
And that is the second straight time that we've been doing a Minnesota game with Daniel Jackson makes an incredible catch in the end zone. Did it last year in the first game against Nebraska, and this one, it sure looks like he's got control, and then partner a foot and a knee in the end zone.
Let's go to Mikey Rulebooks, our rules analyst. Mike Pereira, your thoughts?
I think we're three for three. I agree with you. I think the back judge has to make the interference call, which was a good call. So maybe loses track of getting that foot and shin down. But to me, you're going to see a little bit of lack of control there. Now he gets control, and you're going to see the
After
foot drag,
review,
the shin.
the ball was caught in the end zone. Touchdown.
Touchdown, Minnesota. Thank you, Mike. We'll join you later. But the Gophers right back in this game. Unbelievable catch by Daniel Jackson. The third touchdown this quarter for Minnesota.
And he didn't have any sort of control as he's being turned by Zeke Berry, and he's able to maintain concentration and get control of that ball, knowing where his body is. I tell you, that was sensational stuff right there.
Kasich trying to make it a 3-point game. And he does. So how about this? The Golden Gophers storming their way back into this game. How about this catch?
Beautiful ball. Oh, look at that.
Woo!
You remember that catch against Nebraska last year, right?
Yes, I do.
I mean, this guy is making highlight reel grabs for us here on Fox, and Minnesota is now in a position. Let's look back. Let's go. So this is it. Nebraska last year, August 3rd. I still can't believe that was the catch. Look at that. That left toe drag. Daniel Jackson threw it down for us then, and he's throwing it down for us here.
We called that game. Let's check in with Jen.
I had a chance to ask him about that play this week, Gus. He told me, I love the big moments. When my team needs me most, I will deliver. And wow, we're seeing it from Jackson right now.
He certainly delivered there.
Onside kick now from Minnesota. All the hands team out for Michigan. This is it.
Nice bounce. Scrambled around. Minnesota's got it. The Gophers have it. They've got it. right.
Flag on the field.
Offside. Kicking team number 49. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Re-kick.
Well, watch top of your screen. Kesic is going to take off, and does he cross? Oh, man, just barely. That's Matt Kingsbury, a linebacker, number 49, that was just across. You know, that's going to back it up 5 and breathes new life for Michigan.
So they'll do it again. At this time, Michigan is there. Kalel Mullings secures it. With 1:36 to play. Minnesota with 1 timeout left. Michigan with 2.
Wow. With the 1 timeout, Gus, here's where we're at here. Michigan needs to run off about 20 seconds on their 4 plays. So they can't just kneel it, or else they're in a position where Minnesota could have a chance to get their hands on the football. So they're going to have to snap this football. It's P.J. Fleck, animated on the far sideline.
He can't believe it. First down and 10 at the 38. Mullings, the pistol. They give it to him. He's met before he gets to the line of scrimmage. Minnesota forces a loss of 2. And they call that final timeout with 1:32 remaining in the 4th quarter. Let's go back to that onside kick.
Yeah,
Mike Pereira joins us. Mike, that looked kind of sketchy from an officiating standpoint.
I don't think he's offside. I mean, if you take a look at the high shot like the all-22, I don't think he's breaking the plane. Watch on top, stop it right when the ball is kicked. And again, to us, as he's going, as we move forward here, there's the ball kicked. Was he offside? I'll tell you, it's so technical. To me, he's not, but it's awfully close. Nothing can be done, not reviewable, obviously.
Boy, you would love it to be something that was clear and obvious, and that one looked like just a hair.
2nd down and 12 to the 40. No timeout. Michigan. Shaky with the snap. Orji falls on it. A loss of 11. But the clock keeps running.
Holy cow.
Bredesen in the vision of Orji.
Yeah, and that's a motion that I don't know if I would have in there, because he's trying to cross the snap and block in front of the ball. Look at Minnesota's like, oh my goodness, that ball on the turf looks awfully good.
Jerome Moore, hands on his hip, just looking at the clock, praying for it to go down as quickly as he can.
You know, and I'll go back to, I know it was a while ago, but Gus, on Michigan's last offensive series, because of when they were snapping the ball and the fact that they threw it on 3rd down, they gave a free about 45 to 55 seconds to Minnesota. And where are we at right now?
That's right.
47 seconds left.
This game could almost be over.
It
yes,
absolutely does. And when you're a team like Michigan with a small margin of error, because this is not a team with shock and awe talent, okay? Yeah, they've got some first-round picks on the defense, there's no doubt, but this is a team that has to win with a very specific blueprint. And when you're outside of that blueprint, you don't do the things that are necessary, like working the clock, winning the turnover battle, which they haven't here in the 2nd half. Then it gets close, and that's what we saw last week in the 2nd half. We're seeing it this week in the 2nd half. So some sloppy play that has to get cleaned up if they're going to move forward here in the Big Ten and be successful.
47 seconds remaining. Minnesota out of timeouts. Michigan with 1. 3rd down and 23 from the 49. Mullins trying to get outside. And he'll be ridden down around the 45-yard line. 34 seconds. And that should do it. Michigan will survive. And the little brown jug will stay with the Wolverines. But P.J. Fleck and the Golden Gophers, outstanding performance. Outnumbered, outgunned by this talented Michigan team, but they fought until the very end. But the Wolverines will improve to 4-1 on the season as they hold on to beat Minnesota 27-24.